Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13 Reunion Part 2. They delivered again. Like, it was just as good, if not better, than last week. I would say the word that would describe Part 2 of this reunion is delusion. I just haven't seen so much delusion from a housewife ever. In any franchise, across all franchises, than Teresa Giudice. Also, by the way, New York, we got to get it together. Well, Canada, I need y'all to get it together because we are suffering, particularly me, because of y'all. Anyway, I just wanted to, point that out. Pray for us here. And also pray for me that I get to New Orleans tomorrow because I'm a nervous wreck right now. And it's hard for me to do this review because I keep thinking, am I going to miss my flight? Am I going to miss my best friend's wedding? But anyway, enough of Chris's business. Let's get into this review. So we left off from the cliffhanger last week of Teresa accusing Melissa and Joe of contacting the feds on her. No longer does she think it was Caroline Manzo. She thinks it was Melissa and Joe because of the people that they were hanging out with. This woman will not take any accountability for her actions. Andy's even trying to get through to her like, Joe Giudice, your husband, is the one that put your ass in jail, not your brother and sister-in-law. Like, how do y'all cape for this woman? I don't understand. Like, she put herself in that position. It boggles me, y'all. It really does. Like, her fans are just like Trump supporters. They will defend anything that she does, even though she's in the wrong. Teresa says she spoke to the FBI. Girl, get out of here. Thank you, Melissa. We did not commit mortgage fraud. You did. So now they bring up the split screen again, and Teresa, she's trying to like gaslight, change the subject, I'm the victim. And then she says Jacqueline told her this information, and Melissa, she was ready for that ass. She had the text message ready to be pulled up. So the text message that she had, it was sent to her by Jackie, and Jacqueline sent her this, and this was from 2021, March 2021, and Jacqueline is just going in on Teresa. I know I shouldn't care, but her arrogance, voice, and the fact that she gets away with way too much after being a nasty asshole bothers me. She is a low-life trash bucket. She's stupid, but also very calculating. Even with her two facelifts, eye lift, nose job, shaved forehead, Botox, fillers, and new boobs, she is still so ugly and thinks she's a goddess. This is the one that, you're believing, right? And it continues, LOL. No, I'm not bitter at all, LOL. Every time I see something on her, it irritates me all over again. Obviously, LOL. She's infamous for being a dumb, classless train wreck. She doesn't get it. Now, Melissa's reading all this as the other side of the couch is saying, oh, Melissa, you shouldn't do this. Why not? She is tired of Teresa's BS. I'm trying not to curse too much in the beginning of the video. They're also saying that Dolores was saying something like, you're going down, Melissa. I'm not sure in what context she meant that, so I'm not going to comment on that because I was really confused, like if Dolores was joking or she was really serious about Melissa. So now we switch gears and they get to Rachel's reel of the season. And I think her plot line was, beefing with Danielle over that stupid argument and then the whole adoption thing she wanted to do with her stepson. So now we get to the bad nose job comment that was said by Jennifer. They're going back and forth on, I think Jennifer called Rachel's plastic surgeon to fix her nose. So why would she make fun of Rachel's nose? That was confusing. And then Jennifer tries to out Rachel as a fan of Bravo. I'm guessing she has like some type of burner account. Bravo fan 1234, Bravo fan 1234. It's not landing though. I'm like, okay, she has a burner account. Like, what else is going on? Like, is she using it to troll one of the ladies? Like, who wasn't a fan of the Jersey show? Like, I'm sure all the ladies watched Housewives, well, the newer ladies. I'm sure they all watched Jersey Housewives before they were on it. Jennifer just keeps on talking. It's just so irrelevant what she's talking about. Rachel tells Andy, like, can you get her to shut up? And then Andy says, oh, she'll run out of gas soon. Andy doesn't even hide it that he does not like Jennifer Aiden. I will say the smartest thing that Jennifer did was attach herself to Teresa, but I'm sure that's gonna burn her in the long run. Okay, so then Jennifer's talking about earlier in the season when she was venting to Rachel about Dolores, and she said, do you think I would talk about Dolores to her? But you did. You did. You were talking to both of the new girls about Dolores when y'all was beefing. So then Andy's talking to her about the adoption of her stepson and his biological mother coming out to say something about this. And then she says maybe one of my cast members can let you know more information about that because she was contacted by Louis. I mean, ever since Louis name dropped Bo Dietl at the season finale, like the pieces are coming together. Like he's been doing some shady shit behind the scenes, and I'm glad that, you know, the other side of the couch is calling his ass out on it. And I believe them. And here go Teresa again, making that dumb, confused look on her face, kind of like Alexia from Miami. Like, what? Like, girl, you know what's going on, or don't you? Like, cause I'm seeing a pattern here because you said you didn't know what Joe was doing, you know, when y'all committed fraud. And now you're saying you didn't know Louis hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on the rest of the cast. Andy then looks at Teresa and says, why would Louis try to track down the mom? She said, I don't know. And then they bring up like how he screamed Bo Dietl at the party. Margaret agrees. Teresa says, well, yeah, how you called the kettle. She's just embarrassing herself even further. Then Melissa jumps in for the assist, and her and Margaret are gathering Teresa. So her witty comeback to Margaret, saying that I would never hire a private investigator, Teresa says, oh, because you probably can't afford it. Good one, Teresa. Good one. She needs Louis behind her to coach her in real time because she sounds a dang fool. Ooh, get her, Melissa. Yes. Ooh. I'm sorry. Like, this has been a long time coming. Like, who is this girl right now? Like, Melissa has a fire underneath her. She is not letting Teresa get away with anything. So she latched on to the, oh yeah, so all you need is more money to be more evil. What happened to namaste? Namaste. Namaste your asshole. If I can find a namaste, I will stick it up my ass. Wow. Somebody actually prepared for this reunion. We could tell who didn't though. Even the other ladies on Teresa's side of the couch was laughing at that. So then after the commercial break, they come back with Jackie and Jen Fessler. And I must say, like, Jackie, she looks great. She looks healthy. And Jen Fessler, my God, let's upgrade her to full time. Like, she is ready. Look at that work. She got the all-star special. She is now up there with Dolores and Dr. Wendy for having good work done. This woman shaved 10 years off her face. This is sorcery. I'm surprised Messy Ass Production didn't do a side-by-side. And good for her though, because you can just see how happy and confident she is with the way she looks now. I also think they needed a light break in between like all this drama between Melissa and Teresa, so I welcome this. So now he's talking to Jackie and how she felt about being demoted. Like, the story is that she welcomed the demotion because she needed to get herself together. Maybe she relapsed or something, but whatever happened to her, like, it looks like she obviously gained some weight and she looks great to me. Like, Jackie, you did that, girl. Now, I'm not sure if we want you back next season, but I'm glad you got yourself together. They're now talking about Ozempic because, you know, that's the thing that all the housewives are on to get thin. He brings up Dolores, who proudly said that she was on it. I appreciated her honesty. And then he wanted Jackie's opinion. I thought that was messy. And she's been saying what everybody else has been saying, like, you don't know the effects of it, the addiction it may cause to being thin once it wears off, etc. So then they talk about how Melissa got shit-faced in Dublin. She said she was going to call her ex. Of course, Teresa chimes in and says, my brother, he would have never accepted that, the brother that I know. Melissa then tells Teresa, do you really think that I was serious? Teresa then says it doesn't matter if she was serious because she shouldn't be talking like that because she's married, she has kids. I'm like, oh, okay, now she's married and has kids. Well, what are all the things that you did, Teresa, and you're married and have kids? Like, let's just get the scroll out. Oh, Melissa with the throwback. Now, you had to watch Jersey from the early days to get this reference. I cannot believe Melissa threw that in. She was like, it's funny. It's a joke. Ha ha. Teresa did the same thing like early. I think it was season 2 or 3. Brownie points if you pinpoint the right season, but brava, Melissa. Brava. That was a good one. You get 50 points for that. But then Andy changes the topic and asks Teresa why she don't like male strippers. Now, I love me some male strippers. I mean, if I was getting married, it's probably not going to happen. But if I was, and I had a bachelor party, oh yes, there would be male strippers everywhere. But anyway, she said Channing Tatum's name wrong, and the whole left side of the couch rolled their eyes like, there she go again. Like, that's the lovable, dumb Teresa that y'all love. And here go Melissa taunting Teresa again. You say that? Wow. And you're married? Teresa was not ready for her. So then later on, we see the guys arriving to the set, and we see Louis the Lobster looking coked out as usual. They have to put the guys in 2 separate dressing rooms. So in the first dressing room, you have Rachel's husband, Joe Gorga, and Frank. And in the second dressing room, you have Louis the Lobster, Bill, and Dolores' boo thing. Now, I'm gonna need Louis to put a shirt on. It's just so weird. Like, why is your shirt off? Back on set, we get a segment of the ladies using words incorrectly and then using new words like booger wolf, and we have flop-ass Jennifer explaining that. Yeah, it's a chop for me. Moving on. We then get to Danielle using the word conversating, and Andy confirms that it is a word, but Margaret clarifies that, yeah, Webster added to the dictionary as like a slang term. I will not be using conversating around adults, but Danielle, you continue to do that. Margaret then gets a question asking, why is it bad that Teresa and Jennifer said that she makes a better friend than an enemy when Jackie said the same thing, and she also used it as a tagline? Margaret says it was all about the context. She said that Jennifer and Teresa were warning the new girls about her, whereas Jackie, it was something different when she said it. Now, I can see that because it looked like Teresa and Jennifer, like the only reason they were doing that is so they could get back at Margaret and get the new girls on their side. Like, look, they're trying to take down Margaret because she's a formidable opponent. And here goes Teresa contradicting herself again, trying to tell somebody that they were trying to spread a rumor when she did that to Jackie when she said her husband was cheating on her. So then we get to Margaret's friend Laura. Like the name we've been hearing all season, yet this woman has not been brought on the show. And it seemed like she wanted to be on the show. According to Margaret, she tried to get her on. Andy's asking her, like, what did you do to this woman? Margaret says that she tried to get her on the show, and then later on, it just felt like their friendship was about the show. Teresa says something dumb, and Andy has to remind her, like, that's what she just said, Teresa. She's such a rockhead. Ooh, and here goes the revelation for part 2 of the reunion. So Jennifer, she already told this rumor to Melissa that she heard from Laura. So Danielle, like, for some reason, she didn't even tell her that she told Melissa already. She made it seem like Melissa didn't know. So they basically set Danielle up. And in this scene, you can see Danielle's face crack when she hears this. And also, here goes the timeline. So Jennifer tells Melissa the rumor that she heard, but Melissa already heard the rumor because Teresa went to Joe without Melissa behind her back to say that, oh, well, this is what Melissa is doing, because she believed it. So I thought that was real foul on Teresa's part. Like, so Teresa, as well as Jennifer, they both knew that Melissa knew this rumor already, but they were calculating, but they're not smart. You're not smart! They tried to get Danielle to repeat it on the show. So then Andy's asking Jennifer, like, why at the season finale didn't you tell Danielle that Melissa already knew this information? Because if Danielle didn't say that at the party, I'm pretty sure Melissa and Joe would have showed up at the wedding. Jennifer is tongue-tied. Like I said, flop. They got caught red-handed. So now Andy is asking Danielle, do you feel set up? Because she's sitting there looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Danielle then asks Teresa and Jennifer, did you guys set me up? Teresa doesn't say anything, and Jennifer's like, well, I didn't mean it for it to come off that way. Girl, you got set up. Danielle, unfortunately, is in too deep and up Teresa's ass as well as Jennifer's, and she says, I don't feel set up. I don't. Okay, let's just wait a little bit later, shall we, and we'll get back to that. She says, I choose to believe that I was no one's pawn. And Margaret says, well, you were a pawn. Girl, I'm embarrassed for you because they made you look stupid. Andy asks Melissa, who does she blame for the rumor coming to light? And she says, first and foremost, Teresa, because she went behind her back to tell her husband that. And I agree with her. That is so foul. Like, Teresa has tried time and time again to break up Melissa and her brother's marriage. Like, what is wrong with her? And Teresa, she takes no accountability. She's putting it on Louis. Louis was the one that told, y'all are a unit, okay? Like, I get a headache because she's so dumb, yet so calculating. I don't know, she's like Wile E. Coyote. And then Melissa says she blames Jennifer for telling Danielle on camera because then Danielle would have never brought it up at the season finale. And look, I know y'all can't stand Melissa, and believe me, she is annoying as fuck to me too. Her and her short misogynist husband. But still, right is right. And in this situation, Teresa is wrong. Production then shows us the husbands in the back watching the ladies go at it. Louis still has his shirt off. Why? Why does he have his shirt off? Can somebody tell me why? Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a red face. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a cokehead. Tell me why. I really want someone to say, Louis, put your shirt on right away. I'm here all night. We're back on stage and the split screen is up yet again, and it's Teresa versus Melissa, round 605. Like, they're going back and forth over this rumor. Teresa swearing on her kids, lying through her teeth. Everyone is just getting a headache right now. Andy looks like he is completely over it. So then Andy tries to intervene and ask a question, but they're still going at it. He's like, stop! Teresa, she's still got to get her word in. Weak. Andy's like, I swear to God. Andy basically called them both kindergartners, said you don't grow, you don't evolve. Now see, let's take a pause and talk about Andy's hosting skills. You notice how he only hollers at, certain franchises. It could be OC, it could be New York, Jersey, Miami as well, but the day that he yells at the Potomac women or Atlanta, that'll be his last days hosting. I'm just saying. I think he could be a little bit more professional and not yell at the women, and it's his job to moderate and take control of the conversation rather than insulting the women, insulting the talent. Like, Andy, you're not the talent. They are. They're the ones that put you on the map. Remember that. Oh, and they are still going after Andy has said all of that. Child, it is never ending. Now Melissa has started over again, like taunting Teresa. They're going back and forth. Andy's like, you guys should just keep talking. Just keep talking over each other every fucking second. Wow. Like, also, it is not fair that we get Vanderpump Rules uncensored, but we can't get Housewives uncensored. I want to hear the cussing. Teresa again alludes to never wanting to see Melissa's face again, like she's not going to be back on the show. And for that very reason is why I want Melissa back for season 14, so Teresa can look stupid, even though she does a good job of that doing it herself. So we're backstage with the husbands again, and Louis still does not have a shirt on. And my next observation is this is the first time that the guys have been divided into two rooms. Like, this cast is really split down the middle. I don't know where they're gonna go next season. I'm very curious. We also see some unseen footage between Frank and Joe, and Frank is saying how Louis screwed over his son when his son used to work for him, and Louis' company tanked for whatever reason, and Frankie Jr., I'm guessing, was just the last to know about it. So now Frank, as well as Joe and Rachel's husband, they all have a bone to pick with Louis. Also, side note, Frank got himself some new teeth. Good for him. So now we're moving along. We get to the psychic, and we find out that the psychic was also the nurse for Teresa's dad. So it's confusing to me why Jennifer tried so hard to get the ladies to believe that this woman was legit. Andy then reads Jennifer another question, but Jennifer keeps talking about the psychic, and Andy just gets louder with his question. Like, he is tired of Jennifer's ass. We already know he don't like her. He says, Susan from California wants to know, does Bill change during therapy? He's like, I'm just gonna talk louder. Again, he would never do that on Atlanta or Potomac. Jennifer's answer to this question is complete bullshit and says that one therapy session that they had was enough for them. And I do not believe that. So now all of a sudden, Jennifer is fine with Bill being in the pool house now. She's trying to save face because clearly on the season, her marriage was in trouble. It still is. Andy asked Margaret, can she blame Jennifer for still being mad at her when her kid wants to be a therapist or some shit now, after she exposed that rumor. Now, I've been saying in my reviews all season that the fact that Jennifer wants to put that on Margaret, that is complete bullshit. And I'm glad that Margaret is not owning that at all. That is all on Jennifer. You wanted to be on the show. You knew your dirty laundry was going to come out, so your kid is going to see it. We then get to the disheveled little drug addict comment, and I did think that was wrong of Margaret, especially if the only drug that Jennifer is doing is weed. Yes, it was a funny thing to call her, but she's not a drug addict. So now Jennifer and Margaret going back and forth, and Jennifer thinks that she got Margaret with that comment, you're old, and not even old numerically. You have old lady energy. Andy, you have big dick energy? She has old lady energy. Flop, chop, no. Return to sender. That was a weak read, Jennifer. You can do better than that. What happened to the Jennifer that was gathering all these chicks on the right side of the couch? Where's that Jennifer? Because I actually gave you props then, even though I didn't really care for you that much. But I think the problem is you're too far up Teresa's ass. We're now back to the Melissa rumor again because Jennifer's being called a hypocrite because she didn't like when her affair was put on blast. But I mean, the difference is that that was true. This wasn't. And now Danielle's in the hot seat because they're asking her, why did you bring it up at the season finale? She's like, so she could kill it. Really? Really, what did you think was gonna happen? And I'm with Jen Fessel. Was she just gonna say, yes, Danielle, I'm cheating on my husband? So the next question for Margaret is what is her relationship with Teresa like now? Because it seemed like they're at odds, even though they were cool by the season finale and she went to Teresa's wedding. So according to Margaret, what changed was that, the whole Bo Dietl thing, he reached out to her child, her son at work, and she said she got the phone records, she pulled out the receipts, and Teresa, she's denied. So Margaret hands the phone records to Andy, and then he's saying that, yeah, well, Housewives as well as him have been getting spoof calls from wives that, it looks like their number, and, when he picks up, no one says anything. And now here goes Teresa trying to spin the story and say that it wasn't Louis. I believe Margaret. I don't think she's lying about this. And then Margaret says she told Dolores about it the day it happened to prove that she's not making it up. This is news to Teresa because she didn't know Dolores knew. And now she's interrogating Dolores oh, why didn't you tell me? Dolores is because she said you knew about it already. So why does she need to say anything? So again, Teresa looked like she's now mad at Dolores for keeping the information from her. Dolores says she just wants to stay out of it. Dolores is such a ride or die friend for Teresa. I mean, I know they got at least 30 years of friendship between them. So I get it. She's in a rock and a hard place. But I don't know. I'm waiting for Dolores to stand up to Teresa one day because she knows Teresa is wrong. So then as Andy tries to move on to the next question, Teresa says, oh, look, Andy, I just got 2 phone calls now from Margaret Joseph. See? Teresa thinks we're stupid. She really think that's a coincidence? If y'all rewind the scene when Margaret brought up the records, you can see Teresa texting somebody. She was probably texting Louis saying that, oh, look, the jig is up. You got to do something, call it. I can't stand her. And I think what I can't stand even more is how y'all cape for her. So now we get a split screen between Teresa and Margaret. They're going back and forth. Teresa calls Margaret the devil, and then Margaret leans in and says, you are a criminal, and so is he. Margaret got Teresa tongue-tied. You're a criminal. Andy just sitting back the back and forth just keeps going. Andy's getting more and more annoyed to the point of, I think he just called them both assholes. Come on now, Andy. Get it together. I guess these ladies know not to curse his ass out because he the boss, but I don't care who you are. You're not going to talk to me like that. Look, Carol Radziwill really set his ass straight. I'm glad. Anywho, he then dismisses Jen Fessler and Jackie from the stage. They're done. And now we have the husbands come out. Andy goes to the back and lets Louie know that please, like, we do not need a physical altercation. So then all the husbands are on stage, and then Andy tells Joe Gorga to stay in his seat. We don't want any physical altercations. So after that, we're left on the cliffhanger, and that is where the episode ends. Part 3, we're going to start off with the husbands, and I'm pretty sure some more revelations. This has been must-see TV, y'all. The ratings came in, and it was almost 1.2 million on a Tuesday night. They did that. Now, the reason why Atlanta isn't getting those numbers is because it's not must-see TV. Like, they're exposing all the behind-the-scenes shit that we want to hear, and look, I think next week is going to be a season high as well. And I'm kind of nervous because if the ratings are good, then I don't think they're going to change up the cast, but we'll see. As always, I would love to know what y'all thought about the episode, especially, and I almost forgot, we saw Danielle go to her dressing room and she said, "They set me up. They set me up." Right. They did set your ass up, dummy. Anyway. Oh boy, I think that was the best part of the reunion. But yeah, y'all, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.